We needed to take our sales organization to a different place in terms of the way we interacted with customers. My vision for the company was this company that was this really well-respected, well-run company that was different than everything else, that was not the status quo, that no other company could compare to, and that customers would want to deal with us because the way they connect with us and the way we connect with them is different than anything else they've ever experienced. The only way to do that was really to get to the heart of how connections happen and not be thinking about just the bottom line. It had to do with getting everybody to connect, and the bottom line would follow. So where we were at the time was we were a company that was growing very, very quickly, and we had added a lot of people into the organization. We had grown from about 300 employees to about 500 employees over the course of a couple of years. When you bring that many people together from different backgrounds and different corporate cultures, what you get sometimes is a really difficult culture developing where people are trying to do things differently and not always connecting. And it was all about just kind of pushing the pedal to the floor, the accelerator pedal, and people really weren't listening to each other. There was not a lot of connection between employees. People were not making decisions. They didn't feel empowered. And as much as we said all the right things, they weren't actually doing that. It was really frustrating because we wanted to grow, but we wanted to grow so that the company could sustain itself over the long term, not just have this great spurt and then collapse upon ourselves. Salespeople are a unique group, and when you tell them they're going to go through sales training, they're fairly cynical about it. I don't know a salesperson who's been doing sales for a while that hasn't been through several different kinds of sales training exercises or programs. The first day when I sat through, what I saw was a bunch of people sitting in the room fairly skeptical about this being any different than any of the previous sales trainings that they've had. When I sat and listened to the material and listened to Ben and started getting the concept, I found it completely different than anything I'd ever seen before. When I saw what happened with transforming the sales force using Storyleaders, I was encouraged because I thought this is the right thing. This is the way to get everybody on board with the why we do what we do. As we did that more and more, and it actually happened, and you felt and you saw the tangible results and you felt the results, it became apparent this was the way that we could change the entire company. And Storyleaders became a kind of an integral part of how we were kind of change the entire culture of the company to a culture that was one able to connect with everybody inside and outside of the company and to drive the company forward in a way that frankly we probably couldn't have done it in any other way. Connections and communications are critical to that. That's what we're about as a company, and that's what we're about as a culture, and without it, we're not going to be successful for the long term. This is what we do in taking the company from where it was to where it's going to be in the future. It is all about transforming the company, transforming the culture, and Storyleaders is a critical component of that.